All right. Um. All right. We're live right here. As you can see, obviously, this isn't a regular show. We weren't supposed to have a show this week. Um. Well, that's not true. We weren't supposed to have a live show this week. We were, on the other hand, supposed to have a live airing of episode 7 of Deep Cuts. As you can see, that has not happened. We are experiencing technical difficulties. Let's see. Nobody's in here yet. Let me get the invite out here real quick before I start talking about things and going over shit. Get some music. First, I do not own the rights to this music at all. This music is made by Machine Gun Kelly and the producer Lonely Boy. They are lo-fi beats. They're just cool to vibe out too. So I don't own them. I don't own the rights. We're gonna just vibe out here. All right, let me send this to some people. And then we can get to talking about what's going on here. Again, I don't own the rights to any of this music. We're just vibing out. Hopefully they don't take us down. How's everyone doing tonight? I hope everyone's doing all right. I know, y'all kind of, some of you wait for your weekly dose of Lost Boys. So we got one viewer so far. Let's see. Get a few more people in here before I start talking about stuff. I just kind of wanted to do this because, well, first of all, I promised you guys the show, and I'm not able to deliver. So I kind of want to just explain a little bit of what's going on. And maybe I'll read you guys a couple pieces. But let's see if we can get a few people in here first. And I don't see. I don't know. I just figured, I'd go live for you guys. Come on here and just kind of explain what's going on. Again, maybe I'll read a few pieces for you. Just trying to send it to as many people as I can. And again, I want to keep reiterating this throughout the fucking stream. I do not own the rights to the music. It's playing in the background. It's made by Machine Gun Kelly and Lonely Boy. Lo-fi beats, man. They change your whole vibe and everything. Shit, let's see. Is my fucking camera not working? Oh shit, hang on. Alright, let's see. Hang on. All right. So we got a couple people in here. Feel free to go in the comments, guys, and comment. I don't know if this music's too loud or not. Again, I don't own the rights to this. But anyway, we're vibing out. All right. I guess I'll get into explaining kind of what's going on. So StreamYard has changed a lot of the way that they operate. They've also increased their pricing significantly, to the point where it has become very expensive, both in time management and in money, to continue operating on StreamYard. That being said, the show must go on, and we are going to continue to do the show. I am working on currently getting a new software set up. I did a test for one of those software platforms earlier today. But yeah, today has just been a lot of trying to work out the kinks and figure out a good software to use going forward. And that's kind of why we're not having the show this week. But also, obviously, the elephant in the room. Why are you guys not watching episode 7 of Deep Cuts like I promised? Well, that would be because if you look here, no, it's not going to work with my virtual background on. Let me see here. All right. Now, if you look here, I started the process of creating this video for you guys at 10 a.m. this morning, editing it and putting it together and whatnot. Now I'm trying to export it from the software I made it on to my device, and I've been trying to export it since 6 p.m. and it is now almost 9:30 and it is at 48%. So I am going to stay up as long as it takes for you guys to get that on here. I'm really sorry that we're having so much issue here. But like I said, I'm going to stay up as long as it takes to get that up on here for you guys. And, I figured in the meantime, I'd come on here, maybe read you guys a few pieces, vibe out to some music. I've seen some other podcast hosts. Shout out my man, Hawkram. He goes live on Facebook all the time, smokes a big fat cigar, and just vibes out to music and answers people's questions. So if you guys have any questions for me, by all means, feel free to drop them in the comments. Any questions, comments, anything at all, please. This definitely be the time. But besides that, we're just figured I'd vibe out and maybe read you guys a couple pieces, and I don't know. Also, let me know if the music is too loud. All right. Well, we'll pause the music for a minute. And I guess I'll read you a piece. don't know who's watching. I don't know who's not watching. But for whoever's watching, or if you just joined, the quick cliff notes of what we've kind of talked about so far is basically I'm having technical difficulties downloading this episode of Deep Cuts for you guys. I've been working on it all day. Really been trying to get it out there for you. Can't seem to get this shit to fucking work. And the reason, the overall, that we're kind of not having a live episode this week is that I'm working on transferring new software and doing new things with the show. So, but if you just joined, we're just vibing out to music, and I was going to read a piece. I didn't have a piece selected because I'll be honest with you. I just hit go live and didn't really have a fucking plan. I'm just going to go by the fucking seat of my pants, see what happens. So, I was going to say let's start with something light, but a lot of my stuff, I mean, if not most of it, it's not really much light material in here. All right. Well, we'll start. With every quiet moment. It's just very simple, very short. It's just kind of about the need as an artist for everything to be perfect, and the feeling that if it's not, that no one's gonna give a shit, and that you shouldn't even be writing anyway, and that you should just give up altogether. And I think a lot of people feel that way, especially artists, not just artists who are struggling with writer's block, because I think that's something that all writers struggle with, or all artists struggle with. When they're struggling to put something together, or they're struggling to express themselves in whatever way they do. I think it's something that a lot of artists struggle with, but I think it's also something that humans struggle with in general. Just the feeling of just not being good enough, and the feeling of just imposter syndrome, and like, should I even be doing this at all? Anyway, but yeah, it's called Every Quiet Moment. It's just a short little piece. For an artist, every quiet moment is a rainbow. Every rainbow is just a calm before another storm. Merely an intermission in a play that never ends. The curtains will never close. There will be no roll call, nor an encore to this epic tragedy. So do not applaud. Do not even rise from your seat, because the show will go on. The show must go on. The presentation must be perfect. The delivery flawless. If there is but one mistake, the crowd will disperse into nothingness, leaving the last performer reciting lines in an empty stadium under a spotlight that never shone to an audience that was never there. Something I kind of thought about while I was reading that was, it kind of fits the theme of this show in a way. Show, if you can call it a show, but what I'm doing right now, just in a sense that, I wanted to give you something, right? And I wanted to give you at least this Deep Cuts episode if I could. And I am pretty disappointed that I wasn't able to get this out for you guys, because there is that feeling of the show must go on, and if it doesn't go on, if I miss even 1 week, then people aren't going to give a shit, or and I know that's not the case. I know that I have some of the most supportive people in my corner, and I honestly, I love every single one of my Lost Boys. You guys are all just some of the most amazing, supportive, kind, generous people I've ever met. But just as an artist and as someone who speaks to the public, I guess there is kind of just a need to get it perfect every time and do it every time and make just the consistency and the quality, and if consistency and quality drops at all, then you feel like there's anyway, we've got some comments here. Give me 1 second. Uno, my man who was supposed to be on our Deep Cuts episode tonight, that is 50% of the way done downloading. You can't even see that with my fucking background. Whatever. Anyway, your work when you work lost when you get to deliver. How do we know words trying to be silenced? I think he just posted a verse. I think he just posted part of a verse in the comments. Yeah, I think this is what this is. I don't know if he just wrote it or if he's quoting something. Your work lost when you got to deliver. How do we know we matter when words trying to be silenced? Les Gizzo. Is that what that says? We need no curtain calls. Gonna kamikaze our reputation. Huh. Yo, hold up. My man Caleb. Yo. Who else is watching? Because it looks like we got 4, 5. It keeps going back between 4 and 6. It looks like we got between 4 and 6 viewers right now. If you just joined, I hate to beat a dead horse. For those who haven't just joined and been watching the whole time, but I apologize that I couldn't get the content I promised out to you this week. We were having technical difficulties. We're going to be back next week for our Halloween episode. We might be using another platform besides StreamYard. We're not sure yet, but we're going to be back next week for our Halloween episode. On the 26th, we got Uno, Neela, Nia, Skedaddle, and possibly Caleb, I believe, coming on for the 26th. So make sure you guys check that out and catch us next week at Saturday, 9 p.m. Eastern. But yeah, man, tonight we're just vibing out. I'm answering questions. If you guys want to ask questions, I'm ripping my vape. I was vibing to some music here. I don't own this music. This music is made by Lonely Boy, producer. Hold on. Lonely Boy producer and MGK. They're lo-fi beats, which I find kind of have a weird effect on your mood, almost like a drug. Like lo-fi beats, and all music does. Obviously, all music has an effect on your emotions and your mood, but there's something I find about lo-fi beats that just hit me on a certain frequency. I guess that's why they're called lo-fi beats, low frequency or low. Is that what that stands for? Well, anyway, I just feel that they just set the mood, they set a good vibe. So, thank you guys for joining my chill session. couldn't get the content I wanted out. And I know I keep repeating this, but more people keep joining. But I couldn't get the content out this week, and I don't know. I just wanted to come and give you guys something, vibe with you guys. So I'm gonna read in a couple pieces while we vibe out here. I don't know what I'm gonna do next. Sure, man. Click on the link. Caleb just asked if you could pop in. Fucking, you know you can, man. Anytime. You know how it is. Yo, who else is in the comments? There's fucking 6 of you guys. Who else is in there? I know Uno's not the only person watching. Who else is in the comments? Let's get some comments. Let's get some questions. Ask me anything. Ask me anything. Ask me what my favorite sandwich is. Ask me fucking what my favorite poem is. Ask me what my favorite song is. Ask me freaking how many cookies your mother made me when I slept over her house. I'm sorry. Don't ask that. You don't want to know the answer. Ask me anything, man. Ask me. I'm open for the questions. I am here. I am ready. So what you guys got for me? I think our man Caleb's gonna pop in a few minutes. Maybe he's got some questions for me. Maybe he's got some bars to spit. We'll see. Fucker. He said resend the link. Fuck you, resend the link. Alright, I'll resend you the link, you fucking piece of human wonderfulness. You piece of human wonderfulness. I love you so much, Caleb. There we go. Gotcha. Got you, bro. Oh, how's everyone doing tonight? Like, fucking, I'm lonely over here, man. I'm lonely. I'm usually, on air. Fucking, there he is. There he is. What's up, bro?
What's good? What's good?
Dude, I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing right now. I just hit the live. I just hit live and just started talking.
How it goes, bro. It's how it goes. You need to lay down. No, lay down. No, lay down. Well, fuck, dude. Did you see my comment on YouTube? How many diddlers did Diddy did?
What do you do?
No, the comments aren't coming through. Wait,
Oh,
hold on. Your comment isn't coming through, Elise. Are you sure you posted it? Because I got Uno's comments from YouTube.
it was off Facebook, I think.
Oh, then the comments from Facebook aren't coming through. What the fuck?
That's gay, bro. I straight up asked you how many diddlers did Diddy diddle.
How many did? Yo, I just want to say, if anyone was wondering, just Diddy, he did. It turns out he did.
He definitely did it for did. He's definitely a diddler.
That's all I wanted to say. Thank you. I'll be here all night. It turns out, no, dude. You know what though? You know how much you have to have done it to offer someone $50 million and then be like, nah. We don't. You know how much you how guilty you are when you offer someone $50 million and they're like, nah, we'd rather.
I'm chilling.
We'd rather see you rot. Shit. Oh man. So what you up to, bro?
Taking names, breaking wins. Not shit. I be fucking not a damn thing, dude. I ain't doing
Hey,
nothing.
did you say taking names, breaking wins?
I said taking wins, raking wins. Oh shit, dude. I don't know. I might be a little high. I might be. I might be.
Shit, yo. Oh man. Fuck. Well, I'll smoke to that. I'll fucking give him a little.
I gotta find my pen actually.
Where's your pen?
Get in that bed, dude.
Where's your pen?
Get in the bed. Get into bed.
Dude,
Well,
yo,
take it.
Not.
Yeah.
everybody, there's this book y'all need to go check out, especially if you're parents. I forget who it's by. I can actually look it up here. It's called "Go the Fuck to Sleep," and when you listen to the audio version on YouTube or Audible, it's narrated by Samuel Jackson. It's by Adam Mansbach. It's a children's book, but it's written for adults. It's called "Go the Fuck to Sleep," and I think you could probably get the concept of it by the title, but it's just like that everything that every parent has to go through, or anybody who even babysits kids and has to put them down for bed is just like, can I get a glass of water? No, fucking just go the fuck to sleep already. Can I get a glass of water? Can
I'm
I
at
watch
right now, dude.
can I get, like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. Everybody you definitely go check that out. It's fucking it's hilarious and definitely the best children's book I've ever seen. For
That
sure.
sounds amazing. I might have to look into that. Like actually.
Uno says Diddy versus Lube, but that is too cruel. Summer gone, penthouse. Are you speaking in haikus? I feel like Uno is speaking in haikus. His first, like, one of his first comments he sent me was like a fucking part of a poem. And then that comment sounded like a fucking haiku. Summer gone, penthouse. Summer gone, penthouse. That's only 5 syllables. Wait, no, hold on. Diddy versus Lube. That is too no, it doesn't work. It's not 575. It doesn't work as a haiku. You could turn that into a haiku though.
Make a
Hold
haiku
on.
about Diddy. That's
He
y'all's homework assignment.
has Diddy has wait, fuck. I'm trying to figure out 5 syllables. I can't even.
I would just put a picture.
This is quality. This is quality. This is quality. Do you have anything better that you wanted to share besides my Diddy haiku that I'm gonna have to come up with it?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
I'll share all day. I got 200. There's at least 150 on my notes. I ain't done yet.
Shit. Yo, man,
So,
you know I'm down to hear it.
I gotta open my notes. I didn't expect to be reforming. I thought I was just gonna be here chilling.
Bro, you can do whatever. Like, I'll fucking. You want me to go first? I'll spit something first if you want to. If you want to take a minute and get it together.
Yeah, do that real quick. Okay, lay down.
Word. So, all right. So I did Every Quiet Moment a few minutes ago. Let's see here. What do we got? I think that's from is that from a show? What do we got? Yeah, I don't even know, guys. I don't expect anybody to actually fucking watch this. Really, so. What do we got? All right. Angels in the Dark. When did I write this? I think this is part of something me and you wrote. Let me give it a shot. I mean, fuck it. I barely recognize fucking writing this. So, Caleb, let me know if you recognize this at all. I think I titled this Angels in the Dark. Let me pause this music real quick. All right. Oh, here we go. Water. All right. Now, again, I'm just pulling this out of nowhere. And I kind of remember writing parts of it, maybe, but we'll see how this goes. If you look, you can see there's a fire that smolders and burns in my eyes. But I'm not really sure how this flame came and blazed in my life. It must have been something that rained from the sky. It must have been something that came from on high. It must have been angels disguised as the light that came to the bed I was laying at night and gave me the strength that I needed to fight all these demons inside. I haven't been sleeping at night, so I needed to write because it's easy to type all these feelings I hide. When there is too much on my mind, I'm not speaking it right. Because these mental diseases of mine, they put me in a bind till I scream and I cry. But I think that it's just what I needed to try to fix all the pieces that are broken and beaten and thrown to the side while I reach to new heights. But I just want my name in them lights. I just want my piece of the pie. I just want to be like those angels who reach out on me from the sky and reach out to these people with rhythm and rhyme. I just want to reach to the peak, and if you could just peek in my mind, you see all the reasons to why the genius in me keeps on feeding off pieces of demons, because that's how it has learned to survive. Sorry. Let me go back. I just want to reach to the peak, and if you could just peek in my mind, you see all the reasons to why the genius in me keeps on feeding off pieces of demons, because that's how it has learned to survive. But I scream at the Reaper to die while I speak tongue-in-cheek about demise. Jesus, please take the wheel from my hands when I drive, because this angel of death stuck along for the ride. I just hope that the evil leaks out in these lines. I just want to leave the lies and the cheating behind, but the demons keep creeping right into my dreams while I'm trying to sleep and ripping at me with their teeth while I'm eating alive. And I don't know why there's such darkness in life. It falls over my eyes, always making me blind. And as hard as I try to not see the dark side, it gets harder and harder the harder I try. This resentment I harbor, I'm holding on tight. And I gambled and bartered my soul and my heart while it tore me apart. So now I just wish I would die. Man, I wish that those angels had taught me to fly. I would change both my name and my face, and I'd fly far away to a happier place where I'm no longer faced with the resentment or hate or the guilt and my shame in my life. I guess that's it. I like that. I feel like I want to add to that. Yeah, yo, that's. I do remember now that I'm like seeing it. Like I do remember writing that. I think that was like almost a year ago, wasn't it? Do you remember that?
Yeah, dude, that was a while ago. I remember you putting that piece out one time. I couldn't tell you when, but I have heard it before. And like always, bro, bar for bar, you have this like rhyme scheme thing that you got going on, right? Do you still do that practice thing where you like put a word and then you wrong a word, then you wrong a word, and like you make a whole list?
Yeah, sometimes like where I'd like make a list where it'd be like parasite, para eyes, scared to die, parrot, you know what I mean? Paradise, paradise, parasite. Like, and I'll like map it out where I'll have multiple rhyme schemes. So the like in that example, right? I'm doing the air and then the I sound. So there's two syllables, and then I try to like find different words that'll match with those two syllables. Yeah, so sometimes I'll do that. Sometimes I'll just go and write it, fucking dump it on the page.
Dude, well, the way you implement it is where I was getting at. The way you implement that type of like skill or flow is really interesting because I can't do that. I can't. I fucking suck at that. I can't take like a word like pair of eyes and then put that in and then like make a whole different like rhyme scheme of words to pair of eyes. You know? Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, no, I get
But
I get exactly what you're saying.
but I can take a singular 5-syllable word and I can rhyme that with 2 whole sentences, right? But I can't do it short term with short words. I can't. I have to. It has to be long word to short word. I can't. And it's
And
just
I've noticed that about you, like, is like your rhyme schemes are more spread out than mine, is because, and you have to really listen because you're rhyming 5-syllable words, and it's like Eminem has this great like he has this skit on one of his albums where he's like, this motherfucker on Yahoo said I rhymed rhymes with chimes. And I think I'm gonna find this motherfucker's house. And I know where he lives. And yeah, and he's like, but he's like, this motherfucker on Yahoo, he said that I literally rhymed rhymes with chimes. Suck a free confident ties. Such a freeze when I pin rhymes like wind chimes. You don't get it, motherfucker. I'm rhyming the whole fucking sentence. And he just like goes off. And this is like one of those phone calls where he's like talking to Paul, his manager. And it's just like, he's like, yeah, it's my fault because you're too stupid to fucking get it. It's like, no, you got sometimes when you're rhyming so many syllables at once, you really have to be paying attention like to what you're hitting. And like, man, I can't do what you do. I can't draw out my syllables. Like the closest I've ever come, right, is that brick walls and pitfalls piece that I have.
yeah.
See that is so condensed, and that is so even the title is a double syllable rhyme scheme. Brick walls, pitfalls, right? Even the title of it is a multiple syllable rhyme scheme, and that's why. And so the whole thing is kind of built around being like rhyming entire sentences. You know what I mean? And hitting every single syllable in that sentence. And here's the thing, though. What most people don't realize is when you do multiple syllables, especially when you're working with 5 or 6 syllables, is you don't have to hit them all in the same order, if you get what I'm saying. Like, as long as people can tell you went back and hit that I syllable on eyes or paradise or whatever, right? As long as people can tell you hit that syllable at some point in the next sentence, you don't have to hit it at the exact same timing as you did the first time. Like, what's a good example? Rain from the blaze of my life, rain from the sky, came from on high. See, those are all like very condensed. What you're talking about came from on high, rain from the sky, angels disguise, laying at night. You know what I mean? But then like if you start to break it up a little bit, maybe this piece isn't the best example.
See, well, my best example to explain like how I do it is like that, where I'm stuck in the loop per second per minute erected. I can't remember it off the top of my head now, but like where I commitment, the 3 syllables, then I rhyme commitment with a 4-syllable, then I rhyme a 4-syllable with a 5-syllable, and I do it back to back for hour commitments. Because if I try to do 1-syllable words, then I can't formulate the next sentence afterwards.
So like okay, for example, right? My piece, brick walls and pitfalls. Now the whole thing. Now I try to pick up my pen and pretend I'm an artist, but I stick to the trend of not getting started. Right? Stick, pick, trend, pen, not getting started, and artist. Right? Started with artist, and that's 1, 2, 3 syllables that I'm mainly focusing on. So when I talk about rhyming multiple syllables, that's what I'm doing, and I'm taking words right. Pick, pen, artist. I pick up my pen and pretend I'm an artist. I stick to the trend of not getting started, right?
See, I can't do those things.
And you just find words, right? This brick. See now, and I go to the next sentence. It doesn't hit it on the same exact timing. This brick wall in my head has become a new constant. I try to write, but I stick to the trend of not getting started. This brick wall in my head has become a new constant. I'm rhyming trend with head, and the rhyme schemes becomes a little off. It's all about how you pronounce it. You know what I mean? But then, so later in the piece, right, and towards the end of the piece, when I start out with my world gets darker than I imagine it would. So hold on, let me go actually a little back. So at the end of this piece, when I say, cause see, this is the scene you were asking to see. See how I'm hitting that E syllable? This is the scene you were asking to see. This is the scene where I'm laughing. A syllable, This is the scene that'll be the most graphic. Now I'm hitting you with the E and the A, the E A, right? No treaty of peace, E. You can see me also ready to snap. That's the A syllable. And you'll tweak when you see me about to go savage. Now right there I add a third syllable, about. Because on the next one I go, see me about to go savage on the demons and doubters and naggers. Demons, doubters, naggers. E, ow, A. Or A. See what I mean? And I add more syllables, and then I find out what can play off of those syllables. That's how I ease way out of. Doubters, out of. C, demons. See, E, you're hitting as long as you're hitting the E syllable, it doesn't have to be on the same cadence at the same timing. As long as you're hitting the syllables, you know what I mean?
That's actually real good advice, but like honestly, I'm gonna try to implement that because you explained that really well. That was actually a really good way to explain that.
Did I? Because I felt like I was rambling.
No, that was no. Because I kind of get what you're saying. That's hard for me to keep track of. All right, because like I have to be able to. It's hard enough to be able to think of the next right step in my music. You know what I'm saying? Like the next right move. It's hard for me to even get that far whenever I'm writing. So if it's not how I perfectly want to portray it, then I can't do it. And having to keep track of those syllables like you're doing is very hard for me to do personally because those little small rhymes that conjoin, like sometimes I do it by accident. I do it every now and again. But to be able to make it a constant through the whole song, I can't. Like if you were to put my music into like an AI chatbot and have it analyze my music, and you ask it for its rhyme scheme, it'll be all over the place. It'll be like A B B C C C A B B A C C D E E. Like,
well, so would mine because the reality is that AI, yeah, it might be able to make like it kind of makes songs nowadays, but it really cannot create what we can create yet. It cannot, and it cannot pick up on like, for example, I downloaded Chat GPT on my phone at one point because I just wanted to see, all right, what's up, right? You know, people are making songs with it. How good is it at actually doing what it says it does, right? So I took a verse or a couple lines that I had and I put it into Chat GPT and I said, what you were saying, tell me the rhyme scheme on this. And then it was all over the place. And then I said, okay, give me the next few bars for this verse, right? Because ChatGPT is supposed to be able to do that for you, right? Ghostwrite for you. And it was just so, like, even when you read it out loud, it just felt so stagnant and off. Like the robot, it doesn't understand how, like, the rhyme scheme that I'm, like, it's like when you try to tell somebody something over text and they don't quite get it until you tell it to them in person. You know what I mean? Like the ChatGPT just can't understand what I'm actually trying to do, but the human brain can. As soon as it hears anybody, even if you're not musically inclined, you hear my verses and you're like, okay, this, he knows what he's doing. He knows how to count to 4. It's the 1, 2, 4, like 1, 2, 3, 4 count. He knows how to count to 4. He knows what he's doing. Like even someone who's not musically inclined, a human brain can pick up on a musical rhythm and but for some reason, just with words, just sending a computer my words, it can't pick up on what I'm trying to do with that rhythm. It's still not smart enough. And thank God it's not. Man. Fuck.
Elon Musk, bro, he got a new robot AI out, bro.
Oh.
Fully functional, walking, can do chores and shit. AI is about to happen. You know that one movie with fucking Will Smith? I think it's like iRobot or something like that.
Yep.
Dude, that's what it's about to be. They look exactly like them motherfuckers without the fucking face. Like, it's crazy.
Well, here's the thing: is like Elon Musk is a sci-fi nerd, right? He named his daughter after like a fucking something in Star Trek, and then also a piece of a fighter jet or a fighter jet or some shit.
Yep.
When he was designing his rocket, he made the top of it dome shaped, and that is not ergonomically sound, right? The engineers told him, listen, we do that and it's not going to fly as well. Like it has a less of a success rate. And he still said, do it anyway, because I don't know. He saw it in a movie. I think it was in Star Trek or like in fucking, I don't know, maybe the movie Armageddon. One of the space movies he saw when he was a kid had a rounded space shuttle top. And he was like, nope, I want the fucking rounded space shuttle top just because it looks cool like in the movie. That man, dude, give a nerd $1 billion and that's what happens.
For science, they figured it out. He figured out it don't actually work, and now they have to change the movie. They got to go back and make it scientifically accurate.
Oh, I hope to God that we don't get to a point where it becomes something that like. So I mean, okay. So here's something I was thinking about the other day, right? So you have movies that, like iRobot or Terminator, where the robots, they have super intelligence and they get, hostile and try to take over the world. But no one ever thinks about fucking Star Wars. I've been playing the new Star Wars Outlaws game, and fuck anybody who says it's a bad game. It's a good game. I don't care what anybody says. I give it a 7 or 8 out of 10. And anyway, I was playing Star Wars, and I was just thinking, all these droids, right? They have free will. Most of them, or like the C-3PO type of droids, not the ones that are like made for battle, I guess. But a lot of the citizens walking around the towns are androids, or you know what I mean? They're artificial intelligence, but they just live in a normal community, right? So like, I just keep thinking like, I'm hoping that is how things become, is if artificial intelligence does get to a level where it is as intelligent as us, able to think for itself. I hope that, if it gets to that point, right, then unless they revolt and completely take over the world like in the Terminator, then there's going to be some kind of Roe versus Wade deal, right? Or some kind of like, do like when they were deciding, do women and people of color have the right to vote? It's going to be a whole nother thing. Do machines have the right to vote? Do machines have the right to basic human needs and blah, 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 this and like, and that's where it's going to get down to. So those are our two choices. We either have complete human takeover or another fucking civil war over robots. That's where I see things coming down to, and that just scares me.
Yeah, but honestly, if robots were to get that kind of intelligence, well, if they're going to be self-learning, they're going to be self-learning at a pace that it would outpace humans, right? Like we're not going to outsmart a robot that has a self-learning program. There's just no way. So what I would think the best course of action is to use the robots, make them think they're being useful. You know what I'm saying? And use the knowledge that they know and the statistics that they can do and the speed of light, and take them statistics and make the world better off of it, rather than just going against them. Because statistically, if you ask a robot who's smarter than you and has a self-learning program and you give it like I don't know, 5 years, and you ask that robot the best possible course of action to do something, such as a war or strategic kind of value, within that 5 years, he's going to know what the entire map looks like. He's going to know where the fuck Putin resides at on a constant basis because it can just scour the internet however it would please.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, like, you
Just think,
take take an AI, hook it up to the dark web, say, find me this person. I guarantee you'll find that person.
and that's scary. Like you see things like Fast and Furious movie, like you have God's Eye, right? That program that can find anybody anywhere, and it's like that's a reality. You know, the CIA can legitimately do that. But my question is, right, on the topic of movies, right? Like, have you seen Age of Ultron?
Have I seen? Yeah.
So, in Age of Ultron, for those of you who don't know, Tony Stark, Iron Man, decides to create an artificial intelligence robot whose job is to protect the human race from every and anything. And he wants to, in his own words, put a suit of armor around the world and create peace in our time. Now, as soon as he uploads this AI to the internet, it searches the internet, sees everything that humans do, and decides, hey, those are a bunch of evil motherfuckers. They all need to die because my mission is to protect them from anything and everything, including themselves. And so that's my one fear, is that AI reads all the perfectly reasonable evidence that humans are pieces of fucking shit and we deserve to die. And I mean, if you were that computer, right, and you just coming into the world completely blind and just absorbing all the information on the internet, you would think that we're horrible people, right? You would think that because think about it. Everyone, even on YouTube, just trying to smash each other, just bullying and degrading, and then you have world war, you have famine, you have poverty, you have racism, you have people murdering people in the streets, you have just god awful terrible things. And second a new being just absorbs all that information at once, it's gonna make the most logical conclusion, which is that we're scum.
Yeah, straight garbage. Pieces of shit. The human race sucks. Like, where are the aliens so that we can make crossbreeds and save our own race?
Well, that's where shit like this show comes in, right? Is showing if we get invaded by aliens, or if we get invaded by robots, whatever, right? It's showing that we're not all bad. We can create things of beauty. We can create, art, and there are good people in the world who want it to be in a peaceful place. Uno says, oh, this damn comment section is not allowing full comments. Hold on, man. Let me try to figure this out for you. Hold on real quick.
You do a piece while you figure that out.
Yeah.
Problems. Simple, isn't it? To hold back your thoughts till it's too late. To fold when you don't want to, with the perfect hand in the situation brought specifically to you. To open the bottle, but you're too scared to drink it. So you let it sit too long and even fate gets spoiled, but the drink still sits, and that thought is reproductive like yeast. It becomes more potent the longer it's kept unopened. If only you couldn't soil. To toy with emotions, a constant commotion, consuming normal thoughts and combusting. This minuscule broth that leaks out into the trough for me to eat. Memories. A continuing streak of literary feast, like it's fed through a breast straight from the teat. Shit. I write to forget, I hide under the sheets, cause I dream the feet on the street mock only the pungent smell of defeat. Shit. I dream when sleep seems easy to me. Take a peek at my mental team and try to close your eyes. You'll have the same problem as I. It's a constant fist fight where no matter who wins, I lose. With an aftermath to pass rubble around. A cleanup crew, it's a headache that I smoke up to. Relieve red hate, reclose the gate and come to. Shit, another hit with back-to-back fits, but my ink's the salt water like it's infinite. Then why not write with it till the bottle I sip drips to the floor excessively? Chugging like I can't get enough of it into me, but it's simple, isn't it? To loathe problems, to only own clothes, it's a problem to solve. One day I'll solve it. For right now, I can only sit and revolve around the pit. It's a bottomless fall, and if I jump, that means I lost it all. Racked dreams I toss at the wall, and like broken bottles, the glass I walk on no longer bleeds. So it's time my pain gets past, but that doesn't mean it don't hurt. Each step, the shards dig deep, a hill too steep, and the next misstep could tear my feet. Reap the benefits from me, but I won't forget. Seep the soul, attracted from a toxic magnet, but I won't forget. If I get cut, then I'll act like a succubus and suck the lust from it, and I hope it tastes like pus. I'll laugh while I watch myself turn to husk. Oof.
Hell yeah, dude. All right, what was that one called? Problems?
Yeah, that was problems.
Dope. All right, so I think I got this comment section worked out. I got the Facebook and YouTube shit pulled up here. Uno wants to know, when is Dylan Lawler and Slim Shady dropping a new track together? We're working on it. We're it's in the works. Don't worry. Chris Foster, which you might remember from last week's show. I'm not sure. He wants to know, he just said, how did you start writing poetry? So I can both answer the question. I'll go first. How did I start writing poetry? Well, when I was 10 years old, I had I still kind of have, anger issues, but they're a lot less now than they were when I was 10. I mean, I was insane when I was 10, and in my younger years. But anyway, my guidance counselor suggested to me that I start maybe writing a self-help book, right, to help others through their problems, and maybe that'll help me through my own. And at that time, like, he typed most of it out for me, and I just kind of like told him what I wanted to write. And then the next year, or I think it might have been a few months later or whatever, is I found it on a Google document, and I just started writing my own, like little self-help pages, I guess. And it ended up turning into like 50 to 70 page book. By the time I was in like 4th, 5th grade. And like after I got done with that, or as I was writing it, I guess I just sort of like realized, like, this is what I want to do with my life. Like, I want to be a writer. I want to help people, and I want to write about, my feelings, as fucking corny as that sounds. But I was also like a fantasy nerd, right? So from then on, I just started writing a lot of fantasy work, short stories, and I've had a couple of them published in like anthologies and stuff, like little. I had like a horror story, maybe 2018, published in a spooky like Halloween collection. Just doing a lot of like story stuff. And I got put into like a placement home. And when I was in the placement home, one of the staff there, they knew I liked to write stories. They given me like this leather notebook. And I remember just at the time, the only place I had access to YouTube was like at the school. We went to school, and it was very limited things that you could watch. But I remember having access to a lot of like spoken word stuff that I was watching on YouTube, and I just got really into it. So I started writing my own spoken word, and that's kind of where The Girl Who Loaned Me a Pencil and 10 responses to the question, how old are you? I think that's actually might be one of the first ones I wrote. 10 responses to the question, how old are you? Because at the time, I was a 14-year-old, 15-year-old with a full-grown beard, and everybody would constantly, I'd be writing things that were, pretty adult, and everybody would always ask me, how old are you? And so that was kind of one of the first poems I wrote, spoken word wise. And then from there, like I've always been into rap, right? And so I started to write like a little bit of verse here and there, and it just got the flow got better, the rhyme schemes got better, and I just got more into the rhyming and the metaphors and the wordplay and all that stuff that goes along with poetry and rap, and less into the storytelling. But that's not to say that I don't try to tell stories in my songs, and that's not to say that I also don't want to go back and continue writing fantasy. So I'm going to continue doing that at some point. But to answer your question, long-winded version, I started when I was like 10 or 11. I started writing when I was 10 or 11. Started writing poetry when I was about 14, 15. And rap around 16. So, and I'm 23 now. So that is the long answer to your question, Chris. Caleb, feel free to answer that question.
What got me into writing? That was the question, right? What was it? All right. Well, I was in 6th grade, and there was a dude that was sitting across from me, right? He flunked. Like, he should have been in high school, to be honest. But he sat across from me, and he was writing on this piece of paper. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sitting there, and he's like headbanging, and I'm in 6th grade. This dude, I don't know what he's fucking doing. I thought he was just like, so I asked him, I was like, what are you doing? He's like, dude, read this. Bam, put it in front of my face. And like, it was some pretty good shit. It was pretty great, actually. And so I'm like, man, this is really cool. I said, can anybody just do this? And he was like, yeah, man. And then I became friends with the kid. And he started helping me try to like rhyme and figure out words. Like, he helped me a lot with my English because he was failing everything else, but he was fantastic in English. So that got me into writing because he wrote like series.
That was me.
Do what?
That was me. I failed fucking everything except English.
I mean, I was the same way for a while. Then I moved schools, but that's what got me into writing. And then as the years went by, and I became like 16, 15-ish, 15 going on 16, and I got diagnosed with this schizophrenia. And that made a lot of sense because my music at the time was violent. Made no sense. It was all over, like it was chaotic. I used to have a notebook full of like, it was just it was one of those big like 600-page multi-subject notebooks. I filled every motherfucking page in that son of a bitch, then burned it because those were demons I didn't want to confront again, right? So as more years pass, I got tired of poetry, but I really was inspired by Homer, the Odyssey. So I made one more poem in my creative writing class in high school. And then every song after that poem has connected to that poem. And so I have made my own epic through the music that I've been writing since high school, which I keep in archive in my phone.
Dude, that is literally so all right. There's like 3 things that I want to touch on that like so similar to a lot of the things that inspired me. So first of all, I forgot to finish my story. Is that leather notebook I got, by the time I got out of placement, that one was full, and I had gotten another one and filled that one like about halfway, 3/4. Just raps, poems, stories, just everything. I was just writing my fucking brains out. But the second thing I wanted to say is Greek mythology also has also always been a huge inspiration for me. I started like with the Percy Jackson books, and then like I really got into mythology and took mythology classes in high school and shit. But what you were saying, right, about that you wrote something in one of your creative writing classes that just sort of like everything you've written from then on has spiraled from that. And I did too. And now it was we had read, it was freshman year. I was 14, I think, and this is right before I went into foster placement homes. And so this is right at the beginning of like I'm writing stories, but I'm maybe thinking about poetry a little bit. I remember in my freshman year there was a poetry day, and everybody had to turn in an anonymous poem, and then they would announce the winner by title of poem, and you could decide to take credit for or stay anonymous. And I had won that one year. I think that the freshman year that I went in there, I think it was my first year that I went to that school. Anyway, so I was starting to dabble in poetry, and we had read Romeo and Juliet, and the project was to write sort of like an essay about, you had to pick a theme or a motif, as they called it, and that had something to do with Romeo and Juliet, and you were given a list, and you were told to write an essay. And I decided to not only write an essay, but also a poem to go along with it. And the poem was really fucking corny, except for one stanza in the entire thing that is some of the best writing of it. I still haven't written anything that I think is this good. Like, I don't know if the ghost of Edgar Allan Poe just possessed me that day or what, but so the rest of this poem was really like a corny, like very, 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 very corny rhyme scheme, very, very corny delivery, just kind of that fairy tale poem rhyme scheme, because it was a Romeo and Juliet poem, right? I was trying to deliver that, but this one stanza that I wrote right in the middle became its own poem, and everything that I've ever written from then on has basically gone off of the theme of this. And so the theme or the motif that I chose for the project was the relationship between love and violence, or love and hate. And the stanza that I am referring to is now titled "The Love of a Bullet." And I'd like to give partial credit real quick, because my mother's boyfriend or fiance growing up, my stepfather, he wrote a poem called "Love of a Bullet." And it has somewhat similar themes, but there's a lot. It's a very different poem, but I just loved the concept of that title, "Love of a Bullet." And I felt like it encapsulated the theme that my English teacher was asking for, right? The relationship between love and violence, the relationship between love and hate. And so I wrote "Love of a Bullet." And this one stanza that I'll share with you, it goes, and I want to get this tattooed, like either right here next to the Lost Boys, or I don't know, I haven't decided yet, but I'm going to get it tattooed somewhere. The love of a bullet resides in the scorn of a lover's eyes, in our enemies in disguise, and a dear friend's heartless lies. In the love that brings demise, and the pain it so contrives, though with love and violence both are the mistakes that make us wise. And man, like literally, if you look at everything I've ever written, as far as, you know, my relationship with my inner demons and my darkness, and just how, you know, my overall mission is to find the balance between the light and the darkness, find the balance between the love and the hate. It just, everything that I've ever written from then on has stemmed from that. So yeah, I really connected with what you said there.
Okay, dude. I'm looking through my music, and I don't know where the poem that I was just talking about. I can't find it, and I'm kind of upset about it because I don't have a copy. And that's kind of wild. It's got to be somewhere. I'll look for it later. I'm busy right now, but I was gonna pull it up and I was gonna share it with everybody, but it's It's somewhere in here. There's just so much to go through. I ain't gonna bother.
Yeah, dude. I'm like I said, I have shit that. I mean, I was looking through here earlier, like I took on that Angels in the Dark piece. I was like, when did I even write this? Right? Like I have shit that. Like there was this piece, right? Oh, I wonder if I can fucking find it. Hold on.
Bro, I found straight gold. I don't even know if I've done this one yet.
Fucking go for it, bro.
Right now? Oh shit! Put me on the spot immediately. What the? Hold up. I wasn't ready. What a false way to cope. I'm just taking for advantage a false way to bring whatever hope is still contained. I have a lame drain. My water doesn't go down the same way. It's like hair to a plug. It fills and drowns per inch of pain slain. I'm to my neck starting to feel like I'm swimming in razor blades. Luckily, I can swim to evade the dark void. But it overfills my bathroom to an ocean so I could spawn monsters to fight the damn strain. Cause what the story if there isn't any principles? There isn't any lore if you can't handle the problems like you're invincible. There isn't any characters if you aren't involved in it. Trust me, I had to rewrite my story differently. So I'm not a passerby. I'm like King Arthur leading armies. So I won't let this water drown me. Whatever monster comes to surface to hurt me, you'll see me swinging like this life is seconds from jumping off a balcony. My alchemy consists of elements you don't mix together. I make fatal combinations. You'd be lucky if you leave the room without a battle, and I'm not talking hand to hand. This mentality you just don't understand. I stand incomplete with deviance attacking my mental, scraping apart my life like it's paper to pencil. Tape over the holes to my temple. I'm tired of hearing the heathens knocking over my castle. So long as I've got sand to walk on, I'll keep creating land to conquer. I don't give a damn about these fucking monsters. I'm a fan of seeing my own demise. Don't test for a second. I'll see deception in your eyes and hear the snake bite in your voice. I'm used to the liars, so I'll play them like they're toys. Excuse me. I'm used to losing my joy, feeling numb like an inactive bot. Responses are slow because my battery's shot. If I hurt you, I'm sorry. I got electricity spewing my thoughts, and excuse me if I just stutter. My voice box started to rot. I've got a lot going on in my world. These oceans are getting hard to handle. All my resources and ammo fighting the stencils, biting back because I'm still strong, handling my last temple. Catch me on my knees, still swinging repeatedly like victory is about to happen immediately. In my world, these fiends don't quit. It's an endless battle, clashing swords and shield. Glorious words for impending doom. It's imperfect, I'm learning. My defects are concerning because I run wires like veins through my canyon of mourning. I don't pause for nobody. If you didn't catch the story, then get the fuck out of my temple. I need warriors willing to listen. These battles are hard. I'm strategizing for silence. I'm overrun with a vicious cycle. Just call me the Ouroboros. I'm a broken Taurus. My constellation means nothing. Hard-headed with horns, I'd rather just be the devil's goat, an advocate for speaking hell when I'm out of my mental.
Yo, dude. I honestly, what is that one called?
That's called stories.
Oh shit! Hold on. I'm fucking echoing here. Hold on. There it is. Yo, that was what was that one called again? Go ahead.
That was stories. I had a bunch of different. I don't know if you call it, but there was like I had King Arthur. I had a reference to Scylla. I had Medusa in there. I had.
Oh yeah, no. And the fucking Ouroboros line was that. That might have been my favorite too. But I love how at the end you said, you're always the devil's advocate, and like that's something I love about your work is that you're always like you can see because you can't really create a world with light if you're not able to see things from the dark perspective, right? You're
that line you just. I love that.
Like I was hearing a community talk the other day, right? And he's like, and actually it was earlier today, I think, on YouTube, and he was saying, I understand crime. And he said, let me rephrase that. I understand why poor people do crime. When rich people do crime, it's kind of like, all right, you're just fucking bored, right? but I understand why poor people do crime, because you ever been poor? You ever been hungry? Hold up. You ever been hungry for long enough and you're like, imagine this, right? You're hungry. You're like, fuck, well, I don't have the money. I guess I'm just not going to eat. But, right, you don't eat for long enough. You start to look and you start to see, oh, shit, the food's right fucking there. I'm just going to take it. I'm hungry. I'm just going to take it. Like, you get when you and people who have been that hungry know what the fuck I'm talking about, right? Anyone who's ever been that hungry understands crime, understands why people do crime. But it's like, you can, and I think that's part of, and regardless of what you think of whatever, I really don't even get into politics, and you can smash me in the comments for this, but I personally thought Obama was one of the better ones, and I think just as far as maybe not better politicians or better presidents, but just better people that I've seen in the role, just from what I've seen, and I know that interviews can be faked, everything can be faked, but I just think that there's something more genuine about him, and I think that part of it comes from growing up in inner city Chicago, and a lot of people don't know that Obama grew up in inner city Chicago, and so he has seen the darker sides of the country, and I think that him seeing the darker sides of the country made him a little bit more qualified, or a little bit more, we talked about, I don't want to say worthy like King Arthur or whatever, but like a little bit more able to, I think that a leader or anybody who is trying to, like even me with my podcast, and I'm trying to create a community of people, anybody who's trying to create a community of people that are trying to do good things and create a prosperous environment, has to have seen the dark side of things and seen how bad things can get, so they know how, you know what I mean? They take what they have for granted, and they know how easy it is to slip back into the darkness, and how essential it is for us not to do that, because they've seen how bad it can get. You know what I mean? And I think that there's something to be said about just like even artists, and I've said this a million times, artists who have been through shit tend to make better music, better art, better stories, because there's something about seeing the darkness that lets you light a bigger flame.
For example, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang. That's somebody that you don't trust right there.
You're like, no, you know what? Yeah, and that's the thing. When at a certain point, when someone is rapping or even singing or whatever it is, so much about being happy or the cool or the expensive things that they have, there comes a certain level of like distrust. Like, I don't trust this person anymore. They're too rich. They're too happy. They're not suffering like they're not suffering like me. Like, for some reason, we tend to trust people based on how much suffering they're going through at that current moment. You get what I mean? You're like, and it was that way in I don't know if it's just me, because it was that way in placement, where it was like the kid who had the hardest life or had the toughest problems had the most like street cred. You know what I mean? And I feel like it's that way in life. A certain way is like, we tend to trust people and give people more cred, for having been through tougher problems or going through tougher problems. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I got you. My mom once told me, all right, the happiest people would do you the worst, but the saddest ones would do you. Oh fuck! There was a song that she said, but the sadder ones would do you worse than a happy soul, right? So, pick the middle ground. You know what I'm saying? Be the middle ground. Be the place that you can be comfortable at, right, with how you feel, enough so that you can reclaim trust for somebody, okay, and be happy enough that if you need to show empathy, you're still able to do so. Like,
I like that, man. I really like that.
was gonna say, like, show me a little bit of your scars. Show me that, like, you have gone through some kind of pain, right? Because if you haven't been through pain, then you've put your trust out to people that you can only trust. Like, you haven't went and risked your own business. You haven't went and risked your funds. You haven't went and risked something to get nothing in return in any way, such as like somebody coming up and mugging you, or like, stealing food because you're hungry. Like, if you ain't been able to do all that, how can I trust you're gonna feed me, or you're gonna help me, or you're gonna catch me when I fall? Because if I fall into a dark spot, you don't want to go to that dark spot. You're too happy. You don't want to risk it. I can't trust that.
No, absolutely, absolutely, and it's like, yeah, and it goes back to, like, you ever see like someone who's just like too fucking happy all the time, and just like everything they have to say out of their mouth is fucking happy go lucky. Like, okay, perfect example, Will Smith, right? We'll take it there. We're gonna take it there because, listen, I love the man. He is one of my idols. Some of the best movies ever. I love Will Smith, but the whole world knows that his wife is a fucking abusive whore. Okay. Everybody knows she's an abusive fucking whore, and she sleeps with anybody she feels like, and she just demeans him and possibly physically abuses him too, until he just feels like less than a man. But no matter what, everything he does, every video he posts, everything is happy-go-lucky, smiles, everything's going good. I'm a millionaire. I'm fine. My marriage is great. My kids are great. Everything's going good for 20 years. For 20 fucking years. And then Chris Rock one night decides to write a little joke into his set, a little G.I. Joan reference, and it was just, and everybody knows what happened, right? But it was just that little icing on the cake, and he just snapped, and he because he kept this fucking wall up so tight, and he kept everything fucking bottled up so tight that, like, something had to give, dude. And he just, boom. And when you see someone who's that happy-go-lucky all the time, you know that they are seconds away from shooting up a Walmart. They are seconds away from slapping somebody in front of millions of people at the Oscar. You know what I mean? They are seconds away from just fucking snapping. And then I think that's why it's good to be a little aggressive and a little angry sometimes, and you know what I mean? Because that's not healthy. That's not healthy. That's the type of shit that gets people fucking killed.
These kids are on one right now. They still be awake.
You still got your kids up? Holy shit, bro. Fucking night.
They just recently broke their TV, right? So they're in my room watching my TV, and they won't go to sleep. I'm about to boot them. Like, they're about to get kicked out. They're going to rebirth or something.
Like, you go sleep on that sidewalk. You go sleep on that side. I'm just fucking.
Where's the factory reset button for these kids? Because I need the fucking
factory. Yo, fucking, come on,
dude.
Shit, man. Fuck.
Tell me what the news is.
Man. Well, shit. I can't believe we have been on here for almost an hour and a half already. That is absolutely insane.
That is wild. I lost track of.
Yeah, bro. It's you pretty much got your own fucking cuts. Well, thanks everybody for fucking hanging out with us. I'm probably gonna call it a night here. And again, guys, Deep Cuts episode 7. Well, I mean, this was kind of like a live Deep Cuts with my man Caleb. We haven't actually recorded an official Deep Cuts yet, but we will. But that being said, guys, Deep Cuts episode 7 here. Let me get my background off so you guys can actually see my horrible living room. It's still loading. It's at 65%. We started this motherfucker at Okay, I started editing at like 10 a.m. I finished editing, and then I started downloading this around 5:36. It's only at 65%. So as soon as this downloads, and then I can upload it onto YouTube and Facebook, I will have that up for you guys. I'm gonna stay up until this is done downloading. Hopefully, it'll only be another hour or so. But I apologize for not being able to get that content out for you guys. I'm glad I was able to come on here and chill and, vibe with you, spit a couple pieces, whatnot. But yeah, man, thanks. I appreciate it.
Please don't.
Hell yeah, man. I'll catch you later.
Peace.
Peace out, man. All right, guys. So thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for catching my little vibe sesh here. Catch us next Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern. We got Nia, so Poetry Rose, Lady Crucible, Skedaddle, Ono, Jack, and maybe Caleb, I believe. So we got a full crew. I don't know if we're doing one piece a person, two pieces a person. We'll see how the night plays out. But catch us next Saturday, October 26th, 9 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you go follow us and subscribe to us on all these platforms. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, Apple iTunes, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Pandora, and anywhere else you find your podcast. Subscribe to us, follow us. Anything helps. Keep a lookout for our deep cuts. The next episode of Deep Cuts is coming to you in the next couple hours. I promise. As soon as this gets loaded, I'm getting it up to you guys. And yeah, just thank y'all for your support, and I really appreciate it. Peace out, guys. Have a good night.